ladies and gentlemen, so happy to have this next fighter back on the show. We had her before her UFC debut, and we're having her again shortly before her fight. I think we're talking 10 days away. We are so excited and grateful to the woman they call Fear the Maverick, Miranda Maverick. Thanks so much for jumping on back with us. How is training going? And then let us know the day that you're fighting, the location, and the opponent.
Okay, February 13th against Jillian Robertson in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm really excited about it. Today was 2 different sets of training times, but about 5 different actual practices. Did pad work with my coach, did some cardio work right after that. And then this afternoon's training session, I went in, did some technique for Muay Thai, did a little bit of touch sparring, and then did some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then some MMA after with one of my coaches. So today was a busy day. Just got back from training and ate a little something, and sorry about jumping on a little late.
Understood. Well, I appreciate that a lot. Apology accepted, and definitely, you got to train hard. It makes sense. We appreciate you fitting us into your schedule. Your fight then is 17 days away, so you're 2.5 weeks out. It's going to be in Las Vegas. Your first UFC fight, that was also at the Apex in Las Vegas, right?
My actual first UFC fight was in Abu Dhabi on 254 with Khabib versus Gaethje.
That's right. That's right. And so this will be your first at the Apex in Las Vegas. Won't have to be any long plane ride, although I think as a youngster that you are at 23, plane ride probably didn't bother you too much, or did it?
The ride itself was not exhausting. No, it was just being gone for so long. School was kind of hard to keep up with over there, especially with the time zone difference. And of course, with my coaches having like other jobs and, family back here, it was a little bit more difficult. And I also didn't get to have my dad in my corner because of passport issues. So that part was hard too. Now he has his passport, so that wouldn't have been a worry. But it is kind of handy that it's in Vegas. Just get it done with sooner, be able to get back into my routine, be able to focus on school and training at the same time.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear that better situation. So much to talk to you about. We've got 10 minutes, and I will definitely get it all. And I'm going to maybe throw you some rapid fire questions and maybe give me some like 30-second answers back, or more longer if it merits that. Okay. So I have been following the sport, I think you might remember, ever since the beginning. I'm like at least twice your age, let's say. And so I'm an old guy, longtime martial artist, following it from the beginning. Got a lot of friends who I've trained jiu-jitsu with, and and a lot of friends that wrestle, a lot of friends that have been following MMA for many years. So I called up 2 of them, and I said, let me ask you guys something. I said, you guys saw my guest Miranda Maverick on the show, and they said, yeah, cool girl. And I said, yeah, she is. I said, I believe in her a lot. She's amazing, and she's here to kick ass and take names. She's not goofing around, and she's got a lot of potential and looked great in her first fight. And I said, what would you guys think about her next fight coming up, about opponents? And they said, I don't know, maybe someone just outside the top 20 maybe. And I said, well, how about Jillian Robertson? And they both said, what the heck? They said, how are they, what? Who made that matchup? They're giving they must really believe in Miranda Maverick here. And Miranda Maverick's management must really believe in Miranda Maverick. What was your thought when you heard that fight? I'm not saying that that's not a fight you can win, and I'm sure you believe it is, and I'm sure it is a fight you can win, and it's not like saying you're fighting Valentina Shevchenko tomorrow, but this is an opponent that's going on her 9th fight in the UFC. You'll be going on your 2nd fight. She's had some really good wins. What was your thought? I have a feeling you were probably smiling or happy. Did it surprise you? How did that work out? Is that something your camp had to think about a little bit? Because that really looks like an unusual move that the UFC pretty much said, man, this girl's a killer. Let's just jump her about 8 spots for her next opponent. Tell us about that.
Actually, the first time I got the offer was less than a 20-day notice, I believe it was. I unfortunately, actually, it might have been less than that. I think it was like 2 weeks or something like that. 2-week notice, something like that, against Jillian Robertson. The only reason I said no at that point, to be honest, was, well, I guess there were 2 reasons, but they all centered around school. I had a final December 18th, and the fight offered to me, I believe, was December 19th at the time. And I was not able to take it because I had a final on the 18th, and it was a proctored exam in person. So there was no way I could make that one. We tried to rebook it for a couple weekends later. That didn't work out for her, and another opponent ended up taking the fight. Obviously, that was Talia Santos. She lost that fight.
Yeah.
Then my management and everybody contacted her again to have another fight in early January. That didn't work out. It was too short a notice for her, even though she had agreed to being able to be open for short notice. Wanted to get that, I would say, a win back underneath her belt. So we both kind of just talked about it, and management talked back and forth, and luckily we were able to get this fight for February 13th. So it's kind of been in the works. Like, her name's been mentioned several times throughout the past couple months. And I think it's a great matchup, really. Like, as far as avenues to win, I feel like I have many more than she does. And I don't think experience is an issue. Like, yes, she might have fought in the UFC more than me. She may be a couple years older than me, but if anything, I almost see it as an advantage. I'm coming in here with fresh new things that she's not ready for. I had tough competition within Invicta, and I do look at every fight as my hardest fight to date, and Jillian is no different. I think she's a very tough opponent. I respect her, and she has a high-level grappling game especially. And I'm going into that fight with the mindset of it being my hardest fight, but also trying to be the best version of myself, like I try to do every single time that I step into the cage with new weapons in my tool belt. So I'm excited about this fight, ready to go in there and just show the best that I can be in every avenue.
Absolutely. Well said. Did you have a chance to watch her last and most recent competition, which was not an MMA fight?
I did get to watch that, yes, against Pearl Gonzalez. And interestingly, since that was a fight that I had in 2020, February of 2020, it was nice to kind of see that and be able to kind of compare my own grappling style, grappling skills with hers.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. And I think what would be interesting is to hear Pearl Gonzalez's thoughts. Because she will be the only woman that will have faced both of you. So I'm going to actually see if I can arrange that in the next couple of weeks. I know we had Pearl on a couple of years ago, right?
Try to listen to that one.
It would be interesting. Although, let me ask you this as a fighter. Obviously, I wouldn't just say to her, can you come on the show to talk about Miranda Maverick versus Jillian Robertson? But do you think that requesting something like that would be disrespectful of her? I mean, obviously I would say we can talk about her as well, but I don't want to like piss off a fighter or feel like I'm disrespecting them. But if I were to say, let's talk about your fight. She actually did a combat jiu-jitsu fight, which is really interesting. And then I'd love to get your opinion on Miranda Maverick versus Jillian Robertson. Do you think that would be cool enough, or do you think she might kind of feel like, screw that guy?
Sure. Doesn't strike me as a person who really seems to care about the values within, like, the respect category of Jillian. I don't think she might, especially if it was in her benefit. I don't know if she'd go as far to like message me about Jillian or Jillian about me, but you never know about people. I really don't know. I've never really been close with Pearl at all.
Makes sense. But it sure would be an interesting fight. Well, we only got a couple minutes left, so this is going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to you going in there. We've had Jillian on several times. I believe in both of you, but I will say I'm really excited about you and your potential. I know you're a Midwesterner like myself and my co-host here and producer, Dr. Adam Rorta, and I think at 23 you're killing it. I think Macy Barber is probably screaming, that was supposed to be me. I'm supposed to be the one that's here. So she's,
same time, Macy's above me on the card. She's kind of already made her place there. So in technical terms, she's already ahead of me on that road. So she's doing pretty well herself, but I wouldn't doubt if we see each other in the cage pretty soon as well.
That would be really interesting. Well, I think you're going to do really well. I'm really excited to see you kill it. I definitely think that with a win over Jillian Robertson, those top 5 women are going to start saying, who the hell is this? Miranda Maverick? We better see what's up with her. So I think that, and I'd be curious to see if you send some kind of a message with the after interview to the other people in the top 5. Do you have anything in mind, or is it a secret, or would you figure you're not going to do it?
5, but I definitely assume that I'd be getting a top 15 opponent or so. If I win this fight, not if. And I have some names that I definitely want to call out. Honestly, up to the top 3, I feel like the flyweight division right now is just kind of a crapshoot for whoever becomes top 10, top 15. One girl wins, the next one becomes different rankings. One girl loses. The rankings just change constantly. It's very inconsistent right now just because it's such a new class still. And I'm hoping it gets not only more solidified, but that new competition, like me coming up the ranks and a bunch of the other younger girls are going to be coming in and filling those spots a little bit more solidly over the next couple of years, is my guess.
Absolutely. I would think so too. Well, you have a great head on your shoulders. You've got a great maturity for 23. You got that Midwest farm girl power I know we talked about. And I'm looking forward to you just really showing what you can do and making a whole bunch of new fans. So go do it. Grab that W. Can't wait to see you make it happen on February 13th.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Have a great night.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.